Good morning. In this video, we'll see how to create automatic relations and equations using a Draftsight. Normally, if I were to create a geometry, for instance, a rectangle, and we would be giving a dimension for it. Like this is my first side, and okay, here you can see that I'm going to create a rectangle here with 150 inch side and 100 mm width. So, and if I were to create a circle again inside this, anywhere of like 15 radius, and normal, if I were to use the dimensions option, I'll be creating this one, and if I were to change the total dimension option, I'll not be able to change. But by using a linear dimension constraint, if I were to give a dimension for this, for example, if I were to give 130, I could automatically double click the value and I can change the value to the required one. Same way, I can also define a dimension for this circle center and outer one. So, and another thing is, if I were to give constraints for a line or a dimension, this line automatically changes from horizontal to vertical or vice versa. In order to control the geometry constraint for this, I can apply a geometric line. Here I'm going to make this line as a horizontal one. So I'll just select horizontal and I'll pick this one. Same way, I can also use a vertical to specify the other side as vertical one, and similarly for all other. So once if I give the horizontal and vertical constraints, this automatically restricts to the geometrical constraint that is applied. So if I were to change the dimensional constraint here, this keeps maintaining the distance changes that is applied to this. So by using geometric and dimensional constraint, you can create a parametric 2D design by using a Draftsight. This not only restricted to the linear dimension, you can also use this for radius and diameter as well. For instance, here I'm going to select the dimensions for this. The radius is 20. If I were to change the dimension, I can directly double click the dimension and change the value for this. By this way, working inside the 2D software seems parametrical, and you can easily change whatever the modifications that is required. This keeps reducing the time. Normally, if I were to work with a TWG, it takes time for creation and as well as modification. But if I were to use the geometrical and dimensional constraint, the editing time gets drastically reduced so that our production time gets increased.